Data never sleeps, but your audience does. Boom! Great quote by Carmine Gallo, and it resonates with me because it's one of the biggest questions I get in coachings, presentations all across the world is, Marnik, if you're in marketing, sales, HR, you have it easy to tell a story, to bring your message in a powerful way because you have sexy projects, you have sexy products. It's very easy to build a story around that, but I'm in engineering, I'm in finance, I'm in IT, I'm working with data. And if you're not, I think it's interesting, but if you're not in my business, you probably think it's boring, or you're not listening, or you see all these numbers and don't really understand, but I still need your approval. I still need you to take action on what I say. Marnik, it's so much more difficult in our line of work than, for example, in marketing. Well, that's not true. Data is super sexy. Data never sleeps. Data is so insightful. There are so many stories in data that it's almost the best possible position to be in as a storyteller. But yes, it is true that most stories that are around data will bore the audience because they're not brought in the right way. So if you're now looking at this video and like, Marnik, I am in that industry, I am in that department, I am in that sector, I love data, but my audience doesn't, how can I make it sexy? Well, this video is about that, to give you 3 things, I'm looking at my fingers, 3 things, that's the first data that's correct, 3 things to help you build better data-driven stories, making data sexy. So without further ado, let's dive right in and let's show you how to do it.
Are you listening? Damn.
The first one is probably the most important one, is that nobody is expecting you to present the data. Nobody cares about the data. Might sound weird to say, but people care about the story behind the data. So if you're now looking at an Excel file, you're looking at your quarterly results, you're looking at the latest data harvest that your system did on all your applications, whatever it is, that in itself could be interesting for you, but your audience doesn't care. Your audience only wants to know is all this data that you now have in front of you, what does it say? What's the story behind it? What's your big conclusion? What is happening in the company? And what is this data telling us? You know data, so you can interpret it, and it's your job to interpret it, but it's your job as a storyteller to then transform it into a story that most audience understand. So don't focus on, look at all these numbers. No, focus on, well, I looked at all these numbers. This is maybe 1 or 2 numbers you need to remember, but the story behind these numbers is that our company is doing great, that our company is not doing great, that we have found a hidden gem that we should focus on with our marketing efforts because this is what the market wants and this is where we really need to focus on. I'm just making this up as I go, but don't present the data, present the story behind the data. It will take some work and some effort in the beginning to really let go of what you do every day as, for example, an analyst, and then transfer it into actually the story behind it. Do that, the story behind the data, people will love it. Which will bring me to point number 2 is do not present all the data. Yes, present the story behind the data, but pick out the numbers or the graphs or wherever you want to show it that actually matter for your audience. So many presentations that I see, I don't understand why that's still done, are the full Excel files, the full graphs after graph after graph after pie chart, percentage here, percentage there. This is another sheet we got from our system, numbers, red color here, green color there. My mind is boggled by all the information. The key to storytelling is that you simplify your message. Our brain is lazy. Our brain doesn't want to do the work, no matter if you're in quantum physics or you're building the next gen AI robot, your brain is still lazy. So you want the storyteller to downsize the information and already do the processing for them. So that will help by telling the story behind the data, but also by just showing the data that is relevant. Never a full Excel file. 2, 3 numbers max. Also the graph. If you want to show the whole graph, okay, great. If there's no other way, but make sure that my eyes immediately go to where you want me to focus. Because you're going to tell me the story, like in point 1, behind the data. Let me know what number I should remember, what number I should focus on. Yeah. Help me understand, guide my eyes, make it as simple as possible. So number 1, Ask yourself, what is the story, the conclusion, the big idea behind the data? Number 2, what data do I actually need to show? Cut out all the rest. Make it easy for my brain to process. Make it easy for my eyes to focus. So I have no distraction and a very easy way to comprehend what you're actually showing me. And then number 3 is make it very close to home. It could still be that you're talking about data and that you only show 1 or 2 things, that you're talking about the story behind the data, but that it's still too far away from me because I am not in your industry. I am not in your department. I am not looking at the world the same way you are. So help me understand by bringing it closer to home. And most storytellers and speakers do this by using metaphors or analogies. That's the basic idea of using metaphors and analogies. If it's too hard to explain, and it gives you a big word cloud, use a metaphor or analogy, and it will probably make it easier to understand. That's also something I learned from Mr. Gallo. The quote I used in the beginning, I love it, is that people don't ask themselves when they're listening to you, what is this? What is this? We don't ask that. We ask ourselves the question, what is it like? And that's why metaphors and analogies are so powerful, and also use them myself a lot. So what is it like? It's the same with the data. If you tell me something that I do not understand, you're telling me the story, you're showing me 1 or 2 points that you learned in this video, but it's too far away from me. Compare it to something people already know. And as a recent example I gave on LinkedIn to show you what I mean by this, is when someone, for example, I had to ask ChatGPT because I am not good with numbers, is let's say your department is struggling and needs new investment for, I don't know, servers or cooling or data systems or AI investments, whatever you're working on. And you say, well, it's because we are currently a day processing 1 petabyte. 1 petabyte of information we are processing every single day, and it's straining our infrastructure. Now for you, that's great because you're talking about what you learned from all the data that you're seeing from the processing. You downsized it to 1 petabyte instead of showing me everything. But still, what is 1 petabyte? I have no clue. If I'm in your industry, I probably know. But for me, 1 petabyte, boop, I know a megabyte, I know a gigabyte, but what is a petabyte? Yes, I can look it up, it still doesn't mean anything. But if you then say, what is 1 petabyte a day? That would be like you almost processing or listening to 300 million MP3 songs on Spotify every single day. Imagine you having to listen to 300 million MP3 songs on Spotify every single day. Your head it wouldn't be possible, but if you would try, your head would explode. Well, it's the same with our infrastructure. That's what we're doing every day, so we need new investment. That is what it is like. It's not what is a petabyte. That's really hard for my brain to answer, but it's like 300 million songs a day. Ah, wow, that's a lot. 300 million songs a day, I can't even imagine. That's not possible. Well, that's what our infrastructure currently has to do. We need new investments. That's it. Of course, there's more videos coming, of course, but these 3 are so simple, but they are so effective that next time you have to present something for finance, engineering, IT, or whatever data you need to present, could also be in marketing and sales, ask yourself these 3 things. Number 1, what is the story behind the data? Number 2, what data do I actually need to show? Cut out all the rest, no distraction. Help people focus because our brain is lazy. Number 3 is, if the data is still too far away, use analogy, metaphor, compare it to something people already know to bring it from up here down to their world so I can answer the question, what is it like? Help me answer that question. If you do that, most data will become sexy, will become interesting, become tangible and comprehensible for people that are totally not in your industry, but still need to take a decision, give you an approval, or go along or take action on your idea. So I hope it helps. Data can be made sexy. Use these 3 points, and I guarantee it will work. I was Martin van den Broek. Until next time, bye-bye.
Are you listening? Damn.